Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday morning coffee. Today, we're going to speak about what on this week, and this is about uh, this last week's spiritual energy, which was about going inward for a period of deep introspection and preparation. So, some of the key themes for this week were inner reflection, letting go, clarity seeking, increased intuition, and patience. And um, I am going to talk about what we should focus on each of those things, the potential challenges, and possible actions. So, inner patient or inner reflection. So, identifying your core beliefs and values, right? Um, Living in alignment. Are you aligning yourself with what it is that you want to do? What you're feeling? Some of the potential challenges are facing uncomfortable truths, right? There's a lot of energy right now going on with everything going on in the world, that there's a lot of things coming to the surface, right? There's going to be some Chiron energy happening in the next few weeks or so. And I believe that's going to bring up a lot of, that's what I'm hearing. That's going to bring up a lot of stuff. I'm working on myself. That's why I'm doing this with you. Um, I'm also trying to tap into more of my own um, intuition, my own um, chakras, right? Grounding myself, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to try to share that with you guys too. Um, and then the potential challenges for this inner reflection is facing uncomfortable truths about yourself and your life. Are you doing what it is that you want, right? We're going to go into the specific areas that this might be um, affecting. So first thing that comes to mind is your relationships, right? Well, any kind of relationship. It could be um, personal, as in I can't speak, as in love relationships, right? Partnerships, or it could be with yourself. It could be your own relationship with your spiritual path, right? And if I'm itching my hand, I had surgery this week, so I'm kind of babying my hand. Um, and other areas that could be affecting is your career and your life path, right? Um, what I'm going through that myself. I'm ending my career and I'm in the process of retiring, right? Which was a big process for me to actually come to that conclusion. How are you feeling about your career? What were you feeling about your career 6 months ago versus what are you feeling about it, or how are you feeling about it right now? Right? There's a lot of stuff that um, changes when we're going through those things with our careers or our life path. I'm ending my career, and I'm also beginning or in the beginning stages of my spiritual path. And although my spiritual path is pretty much tied to everything that I've been doing my whole life, um, as far as being a public servant and serving others, it's still a little bit different. So now, although my focus is on you, my focus is also on me, because I have to. One of my biggest mantras throughout my whole life was I can't ask somebody to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. So I'm not going to ask you to, you know, let go of things that no longer serve you if I'm not willing to do that for myself, right? Or to trust your intuition or ground yourself, right? Journal, meditate, whatever it is, right? So, so speaking of journaling, possible actions for your inner reflection is journaling, right? Talking with trusted friends, or even if you need to, maybe a therapist, right? The next one is letting go. Um, this relates to releasing outcomes of expectations um, for relationships, right? Are they draining you? And it's not all romantic. So, what's draining you? What's taking away things, what's taking away your joy, right? So part of this 3D to 5D is that we're learning to love more. We're learning to be more compassionate, more empathetic, right? What are we offering others? And we have to start with ourselves first, right? And don't get me wrong, we can be focused on everybody else and not focus on ourselves, but that only lasts so long, right? You know that it only lasts for a certain period of time, because then we start getting frustrated and we're like, we don't even know why we're frustrated. But if you think about it, it's because we're feeling overwhelmed, and it's because I just heard, you tell yourself in the back of your mind, like, oh my gosh, these people, they just want so much from me. But you're the one that's doing it, right? You're not stopping and putting yourself in the mix too, to give yourself credit or give yourself the grace and the needed time that you need, right? So one of the challenge is being resistant to change or fear of the unknown. We don't like the unknown, right? I'm not going to say that I like change. I don't have a problem with change. My whole life has been about change, right? I grew up as learning to be an adult in the military, so which is all about change, right? We had plan A through G, because your plans don't always work out, or there's something else thrown in the mix on our missions or whatever we were doing. So I've learned to adapt, and that's how life is. Life is about adaptation, and let's take what's going on and work with that, right? And adjust, right? Some of the possible actions that you can take for this is to forgive yourself, right? And declutter your physical and emotional spaces. I have a video about decluttering, and I'm going to re-release it. I'm going to do next week's, I believe next week's Sunday morning coffee is going to be about that, touching on that decluttering, because I want this to be, I want each of these Sunday morning coffees to work on themselves. I want to empower you. I want to help you get through these processes. And in the process, I'm going to get through it too, right? I'm going to share with you what happened to me and how we're going to go through it, or how we're going to get through it. So the next is clarity seeking. So this week, besides inner reflection and letting go, you might have been feeling like you need to have some clarity. You're, again, that overwhelmed, right? Were you overwhelmed? Were there things happening that were making you feel that overwhelm, and that just, I need to pause? And that's what you need to do. If you're feeling overwhelmed, pause, right? Take a break. Sometimes when I'm doing what I'm doing during the day, if I'm just not feeling it, then I stop, right? I try to be very authentic, and I'm not going to pretend, and I can't pretend. So I'm not going to, do a reading for you all. And if I'm not feeling it, then I'm not going to try to make something up, because one, you deserve better than that. And two, it's just not right. And I'm going to feel uncomfortable, and then I'm going to feel guilty, and I'm going to feel bad about it. So, try to not overthink, right? Don't be overwhelmed with so many possibilities, right? If you have a lot of things going on, take your time, right? Choose one at a time. You can take baby steps, right? I'm going to bring up the Army again. In the Army, we had a saying, it was crawl, walk, run. So you're going to start off slow, then you're going to move forward, right? A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. So you're not going to just, no, don't get me wrong, in the Army, sometimes we had to just charge, right? Just start running. But you want to take your time. And then any possible actions is setting intentions, right? Seeking guidance from mentors. You can put questions in the comments and we can talk about it, right? I would love to have a question and answer session where you ask the questions and I answer them for you. And I might have a question, and you can type your answer in the comments, right? We're here to help each other. So another thing that might have been happening for you this week is increased intuition. Are you listening and paying attention to the signs and synchronicities, right? Intuition is very high right now. We have Neptune energy that is conjunct with Saturn in Aries, and that is heightened intuition, right? And Saturn is about your responsibilities and your lessons learned, and that could be causing that need for clarity, right? Because it's kind of like building tension on itself. So some of the challenges could be doubting yourself, right? Or dismissing your gut feelings. Case in point, I've learned that I need to listen to my gut feelings. Whatever, I'm driving somewhere and I go normally this route, right? And for some reason, something's telling me to make a left here instead of continuing forward. I have to listen to that. There's a reason for that, right? And we may never know what that reason is, but if we don't follow, if I didn't make a left and I kept going forward and I got in a bunch of traffic, used to happen to me all the time driving to Los Angeles. So trust your intuition, trust your gut feelings. And one of the ways to possibly, or any possible actions for this could be practice mindfulness, right? Be mindful of your gut feelings. Pay attention to your gut feelings. Spend time in nature, right? Trust your instincts, right? Your gut, I think your gut, for me anyway, is my intuition. Of course, I hear things, see things, right? I not as in visions, but like in my mind's eye. Like one thing I'm very keen on or able to do is when I see somebody, I'm able to kind of have feelings about them. I know instantly if I'm able to trust them or if there's a question, right? And if I feel that kind of, I don't know if it's a tingling or what kind of feeling it is, then I'll be a little cautious with that person. So trust those intuitions, right? Trust those feelings. And then last, the key themes that I wanted to bring up was patience. Trust that things are happening the way they're supposed to be happening. They might not be happening as fast as you would like them to, but that doesn't mean you're not on the right path, right? Allow things to unfold naturally. Excuse me. So some of the challenges could be feeling restless, and wanting to rush those things. But trust the universe, right? Pause, right? Some of the possible actions could be having gratitude, focusing on this moment right now, and don't try to go 5 or 6 steps ahead of yourself. Just focus on this moment right now, and then surrender to the process, right? I know that's hard. That's like trying not to be fearful of change, right? Trusting the process. Um, Ask for help, right? Ask your guides, ask your ascended masters. Pray. If you pray, do that, right? Whatever it is that you need to help you through it, ask for assistance, however it is that you want to do that. And so, again, I was talking about how are all these things affecting us? What areas could they be? Relationships, right? Are your relationships healthy? Are they balanced? Are you giving and receiving love and support in a way that's fulfilling to you, right? Is it filling you up, right? Are you being fulfilled in your relationships? And right now, right, this week, I'm feeling like this is just bringing us to those questions. It's having us think about it. And that's where that journaling comes in, right? So we can write down, what are we thinking? What are we feeling? And then we can come back to it. We don't want to make rash decisions, right? We want to be patient and we want to make the best choices. So just take a minute, right? Don't be so quick to jump into something unless you have to. Next could be your career, right? Or your purpose in life. Is that coming up, right? I'm 60 years old. I'm ending my second Saturn return. So I'm taking, and Saturn is in Aries right now, right? Saturn, which is the lessons learned, structure, discipline, all that. And it's in Aries, which is about taking action, new beginnings. So it's a lot. I'm feeling like if okay, let me put it this way. If I hadn't been working on myself the way I have been in the last year, for sure, more than that, but so much in the last year, I would be feeling like, well, I need to be up here. I'm way over here and this is not working for me. So then I'm going to try to work, jump ahead, do things impulsively or, without thinking. But because I've been working on myself, because I'm trusting the universe, trusting that things are happening in the time that they need to be happening, then I'm like, okay, I wanted to be here, but maybe I'm just here right now. And that's okay, because that's where the universe wants me to be. And I'll get there eventually, right? Everything happens for a reason, divine timing, right? That Wheel of Fortune card. It's all about fate and destiny and divine timing. And the next thing, the other area that this could be affecting is your health and your well-being. So when you're feeling like you need clarity because you're overwhelmed, when you're feeling impatient, when you're maybe you're having these gifts that are being revealed to you, that could be a little overwhelming and that could kind of freak you out a little bit, right? So is that sorry, that's my phone if you can hear that. Is that um overwhelming you? Are you paying attention to your physical and emotional needs, right? If it's overwhelming you and you're stressed out, take a break, right? Go into nature. And are you taking care of yourself in a holistic way? Are you eating right? Are you drinking enough water? Are you taking enough breaks? You have to have you time. However much time you need in the morning. If you can only give yourself 15 minutes because you're so busy, then give yourself those 15 minutes. But in those 15 minutes, you be totally focusing on you, right? This is my 15 minutes and I'm going to be focused on me right now. And any advice and guidance that I come up with this weekly energy that we just went through is embrace the silence, right? Sit still, close your eyes, take some deep breaths, right? Turn off all the distractions, listen to your inner voice. Your inner voice is a combination of all your lessons learned. It's a combination of what you have learned from others. It's a combination of what you've brought to this life with you. And it's a combination included is with what you're manifesting. What are you asking for? What are you wanting to bring forward, right? How are you going to get to your next level, your next best and highest self? My next advice and guidance is to trust the process. And that's my little cat. You hear the little bells ringing. She's jumping on my stand here, and that's where my camera was moving. But trust the process. Have faith that things are unfolding the way they're supposed to be unfolding. Even if you don't understand it in the moment right now, even if you don't know what's going on. Again, I wanted to be here, but I'm here, but I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to trust spirit. I'm going to trust the universe. I'm going to trust Archangel Michael and Raphael and Gabriel that they're protecting me and they're putting me in the position that I need to be. Okay. And then be gentle with yourself, right? Give yourself grace, right? Give yourself or understand yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. Again, you might not be where you want to be yet, but that's what this is all about, right? It's a process. And a process means you go from the beginning and the middle and the end. So it's increments, right? Crawl, walk, run, right? Journal, right? Take notes. Listen to yourself. I have a a recording app on my phone. So if I have ideas, even when I'm driving, I will, tell Siri to turn it on and I'll start recording something, right? Because I don't want to lose whatever's in my mind. So be gentle to yourself, be kind, right? Avoid being too critical or too judgmental of yourself. And the one thing I want to say about that is we tend to be more judgmental and more critical about ourselves than anybody else, right? We tell other people, oh my gosh, give yourself grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing great. Why can't we tell ourselves that, right? And then seek support when needed, right? If you need to talk to somebody, your friends, your family, a therapist, right? I am not saying do not do that. If you feel that you're in, there she goes, shaking the camera again. If you feel that you need to talk to somebody, by all means, please do. This is a heavy time right now. There's a lot going on. So take your time. Remember that this is just the process, right? This is just, I'm feeling like this is because this Saturn in Aries is for the next, is through April of 2028, right? That's a long time. So you're going to build this and you're going to go through a process of, what's important, what responsibilities, what are you going to release? What is it that you want and what is real and not real, right? As far as Neptune being dreams, right? Your intuition, it's your fantasies, right? What is it that you really want? And then remember that this is about turning inward, right? This is about self-reflection, preparing for what's to come and trusting that inner wisdom. What questions are you having right now? What is this bringing up for you? What is all this introspection doing for you at this time, right? What is it bringing up? What is, excuse me. What are you hoping to gain this week from this introspection? Again, journaling, right? Writing things down. And like I said, we're so good at telling or at advising others, I need to start journaling. And I'm going to, because again, I'm going through this process and I want to move to my best and highest self. I have begun these different practices I want to do. I'm going to start taking notes because I want to share them with you. I started this, I'm going to call it a class, and I want to take notes on it and see how is it making me feel any differently? Are they suggesting one thing and that's working for me, or no, it's not working for me, right? So just because the week has passed and these things have come to light, that doesn't mean that, if you didn't get it done, you missed the boat. No, take your time, process it, right? Meditate, journal, ground yourself, be compassionate with yourself, right? Love yourself. And big week, right? Please put any comments or any messages in the comments, any questions you want to ask, and I will answer them for you. And if you know anybody who needs to hear this message, please share it with them. And if you are not subscribed, please do so. And I have a membership too, if you want to get the extended readings for my weekly love focus. And please subscribe so you can see all my insights, right? I'm going to try to work and do a lot more and share a lot more with you. So thank you for joining me today. Have a great Sunday. I hope you had a great holiday weekend, and be patient with yourself. Love yourself. Give yourself grace. You got this. And I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye-bye.